What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. This is game number 2 here between TyLooJim and TyLooWP. We're on Xelnaga Caverns this time with TyLooJim spawning in the lower left-hand spawn location as our red Protoss player. And then over here in the upper right, WP as the pink Terran player. Almost forgot what color that was. Alright, so this is game 2 here in this series between Jim and WP. Jim winning last game with a beautiful defense there, utilizing the sentry. Ooh, Jim is opening up with some interesting play here. Moving out with his probe. He will be doing some proxy action. Proxy gateway is what I'm expecting. Oh, WP, are you going to be prepared for this? That is the question. I think the answer to that is yes, though. With that supply depot at the front, he will be fully aware as this probe moves on into his base. And WP, oh boy. He'll be seeing this, and he should be able to defend as a result. Now, this might force the cancel of the pylon, realizing that WP is fully aware that this is happening. And there it is. SCV now chasing the probe. Is he still going to commit? He is. That pylon is up. And here comes the gateway. So there it is. Proxy gateway here on Xelnaga from Jim. WP is fully aware of it. So now he knows to respond. What he will be doing is building nice and tightly right here, right around his resource line. That is the major threat at the moment, is the zealot actually getting up there and just causing a lot of damage and wreaking a lot of havoc up there. Should be expecting probably about 2 to 3 zealots from Jim, so WP will be forced to come out with a bunker, and he wants to keep everything nice and close so he doesn't have to stray too far with his Marines and can hop in that bunker nice and quick and protect those SCVs as much as possible. There's that second rack, so you can see, again, trying to fortify this area against those zealots as much as possible. That gateway very close to finish. The racks just about finished as well, but one Marine will not be enough, and that is why he needs that second racks. And here it starts, my friends. Zealot harass early on. My gosh, I didn't even have time to recap last game. Anyways, last game, Jim had a beautiful defense there against an early game push with some nice sentry splitting and unit positioning, then moved out with a counterattack, and that was a pretty quick GG. And this might be another quick GG. We'll have to see, though, depending on how WP can defend against this. Now, even if he doesn't just do a ton of damage, he's going to be able to disrupt the economy, and that's absolutely huge here. And this is primarily what Jim's focus is right now. Jim moving in and already disrupting the economy, forcing all of these SCVs off the line. They're getting a full surround and will be able to quickly drop the zealot, but there was a lot of mining downtime and 3 SCVs were killed. Probe's getting stutter step micro right now by that one Marine. The second Marine is up. We've got some more and more Marines coming out, but he's not letting up, moving straight on in and just going straight for the SCVs. That is all he cares about. Wants to kill as many SCVs as possible. If he can get about 2 per zealot, he's actually pretty happy, and as you can see, that's basically been the number so far. Again, a total of 5 kills thus far. This zealot won't get very far, though, as the Marine micro will actually whittle him down before he even gets too close to any of the SCVs. And oh, he's gonna get one, chasing it down. Now going straight for the mule. Unfortunately, gets dropped, and that is gonna do it, my friends. One more zealot making its way on through. But these heavy Marines will be able to stop it from doing much damage at all, and he's actually going to be trying to make it out of the base, but with some micro, and takes out the zealot. And there you go. Beautiful defense there by WP. Now, again, he did take some damage, and there was a bit of mining downtime, but still, lots and lots of damage. Oh, and he's responding by pulling off a lot of SCVs. Now, he's still got some mining going on. He's not all-inning at this point, but he's pulling off a lot of SCVs and attempting a counterattack. Obviously, Jim is aware that this is coming. We'll be chrono boosting out a stalker, and here it comes. Lots of Marines, tons of SCVs. He's really dedicated to this push right now. Let's see how much damage he is going to be able to do. All right, a second stalker getting chrono boosted out right now. The Marines making their way forward. SCVs are going to be taking the lead here, and let's see what's going to happen. Now the stalker will be going straight for those Marines. If you can just take out the Marine threat, what are those SCVs doing? There we go. Finally able to pull on up, and oh my gosh, Jim may have a decent defense here. He's actually, as you can see, on the low ground, using SCV vision on the high ground, allowing him to knock out this pylon and trying to oh, he hasn't killed the pylon yet. There we go. SCV's finishing it off and finally moving on up. But some nice positioning here with these stalkers. Look at these stalkers go to town. 3 kills, 2 kills, and the numbers are going to get higher and higher. Finally, the SCVs are able to make it in, and that is what he's been waiting for. Marines continuing to stream on in as well. Jim is really on the ropes right now. He needs to be able to defend against this, or else he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Again, another stalker coming out. We'll be sitting at 3 stalkers, and those Marine numbers getting smaller and smaller. Very nice micro there with those probes pulling on through by clicking on the resource line and then making them attack and get a full surround, allowing those stalkers to do a bit of damage. And that was a beautiful defense there from the counterattack by Jim. Absolutely unbelievable. We've got more and more zealots coming on through over here. And actually 7 total SCV kills right now. And Jim is once more going to be able to work out with another zealot, try to do some more damage. And do a counterattack of his own with his stalkers pushing out for a counterattack. His bunkers and up, yeah, and that's a problem. One zealot pops out, takes out one marine, and that is it. Stalkers now moving up as WP tries to work down this gateway. Stalkers moving on in and going to be trying to do some damage with some micro. He's going to be able to do a bit of damage here, especially now that that bunker's not up. He needs to pull back with that stalker. Pull on back, there we go. Set him to the backside basically is all you need to do. And wow, what an interesting turn of events in the early game. Pretty unbelievable. And we've got an expansion coming out right now for TyLooJim. TyLooWP also coming out with his expansion. Still sitting with just these regular racks, finally lifting off here. And is he going to be getting a tech lab? There it is, tech lab coming up here on this racks. And he's going to be able to kill off this gateway at long last, taking out that pylon as well. Again, quite an interesting turn of events there in the early game. I don't know why he attacked that. That was pretty interesting. Weakening up those destructible rocks a little bit. But here we go. Stalkers testing those waters there. Will be moving up. They will be instantly shot there from the Marines with that extra range and forced back. Again, the advantage of the Stalker is extra range and faster speed. The problem is, though, that in that bunker, the Marines get the same range as that Stalker, and then all of a sudden that Stalker harass is not as effective. He can control the center of the map right now. At the very least, get some vision here at this tower. There you go. One Stalker sitting over there getting a little bit of vision. Getting that expansion coming on through, and he should actually be able to start mining a little bit earlier than WP is. WP is coming out with a few more racks right now, getting those attachments there. Reactor over here, tech lab over here, already researching those concussive shells. But there's a Nexus nice and finished, so here we will be seeing a transfer of some workers. Get some mining down over there. Double Forge, we get some pretty solid upgrades coming out here from TyLooJim. In fact, I commentated a TVP earlier in the week with TyLooJim, and he did the same thing. Opened up Proxy Gateway, then moved into Double Forge upgrades, and that's what I'm expecting here again from TyLooJim. Now this game's a little bit crazier than the last game I commentated with this matchup with TyLooJim playing, but still, more or less he's following along the same premise. You know, he threw in some Stalker harass after that defense against the counterattack that we saw from WP there. That's basically the only difference between this game and the last game that I cast. In fact, it was on Zelnaga as well, so obviously this is a pretty solid tactic here for Jim on this map in TVP. He likes that Proxy Gateway harass. The biggest thing is the econ harass. That's really what it is, and it really sets back the tech as well, of course, of your opponent. Stimpack research is now coming out. We'll be seeing a constant production here of Marines and Marauders. We'll also have that combat shield research, the 1-1 weapons and armor upgrades coming out now for Jim. He's also moving an observer into the main to get some scouting intel. We'll be spotting the bio heavy, and it's pretty much what he expects, but he does want to make sure that, you know, there aren't any cloak banshees coming out. He wants to make sure that there's no ghosts coming out, anything like that. Stalker forced to push back as we're seeing WP move across the middle with his bio to get control of the center of the map. And is he moving out for a counterattack? Yes, he is. So another attack coming out for WP here. He wasn't just trying for map control. He wants to try to do some damage right now. Now Jim is sitting with quite a few sentries, so he will be utilizing that force field wall, but we'll have to see how effective it is. SCV moving in first to scout out where the units are, and Bio trying to move in, but needs to be careful. He spots all those sentries, and here it is, just as you expect. That force field wall rendering some of those forces basically useless there in the back. We've got some more Stalkers coming on through. No Zealots, just going Stalker sentry heavy at the moment. More and more force fields getting dropped down. Some nice micro here from Jim, another Guardian Shield, and pulling back. And as the Marauders make chase, they're actually taking a lot of damage. And that could have been an issue there because WP ends up losing his entire attacking force. Will be forced to push back right now with his reinforcements. And TyLooJim trying to move out, but needs to be careful as he's about to walk into basically overwhelming odds. And there it is. We'll be losing at least the one Stalker, possibly a second. There's a stim pack there, so we'll be for certain losing some more units here. Concussive shells making things a lot more difficult as well. So nice micro there from WP, taking out as much as he could. Be keeping up this aggression here as he continues to stream out these Marines and Marauders, forcing a bunch of probes off the line, actually moving to the backside to try to get us around and prevent this bio from doing too much damage. And we do have another pylon getting placed over here. WP finally forced back some more reinforcements over here. And the 1-1 upgrades are now complete, and that's going to be a huge advantage here for Jim as WP tries to work his way up to some upgrades. He's 0-0 right now, finally getting the weapons level 1. Still sitting pretty bio-heavy, finally working up into some medevac play as well. And maybe necessary to go into Vikings. No, never mind, actually, because there are not going to be any Colossus here anytime soon from Jim. He's coming out with Blink Stalkers and keeping up these upgrades. So he will be sticking Gateway heavy, also throwing some Immortals into the mix to help against these heavy Marauders. Marauders need to be careful there about being target fired down from those Immortals. The biggest thing for WP would be, of course, to target fire down those Immortals and prevent them from being able to snipe his Marauders. And here we go, WP mounting up his forces. Finally, with some medevacs in play, will be stimming up. And where is he going? Straight into the main. What is his primary target right now? Let's see what he tries to do. Moving straight into the main, a little conga line. We're seeing some reinforcement zealots being warped in here and trying to micro around and do a little bit of econ damage. That's the focus here with this attack. WP sneaking right up into the main and doing what he can for econ damage, forcing a lot of probes off the line there. Finally gets chopped down with that superior upgraded army by Jim. We've got one one Marauder and a medevac over here. That's actually a huge mistake for WP, as he will be losing. Oh, the medevac makes it away. No, it does not. Stalker getting the final shot there, taking that killing blow. Factory Scout sitting over here at the third, wants to see if and when Jim moves up. As we can see, WP is planning on a third of his own. Now that Blink Stalker research now finished, and the 3-3 upgrades making their way on in. 15 minutes game time, already seeing 3-3 upgrades, and WP still doesn't have anything yet, just now getting weapons level 1. This is unbelievable. Jim will be able to do a lot of damage if he moves out with a timing attack. Once he hits that 3-3 completion there, he could just roll over WP, and that's going to be a huge concern for him. Now we do have some ghosts coming into play right now, already with 2. No more in production at the moment, but those ghosts are going to help him quite a bit against this push. Now just at 2-2, he's not waiting for 3-3. He's ready to make this engagement right now. He's got quite a few gateways chrono boosting out so he can get some additional warp-ins a little bit quicker. And here comes the push from Jim. Proxy Pylon getting dropped there right at the front of the action. Going first for that expansion will be forcing the lift-off bio, trying to engage. We got a couple of, a lot of SCVs moving down. Nice force field while keeping all of that bio away. It will allow him to take out all those SCVs without it taking almost any damage from that bio. That was beautiful. That pylon's just about finished. We're going to see some more warp-ins right next to the combat here. And those Immortals will be target firing down those Marauders. And this is not looking good for WP. He's forced back and further back, trying to jump into that bunker. But again, those Immortals able to tear right through that with that pylon right there. He's getting quick reinforcements of these Stalkers. And this is looking very scary right now for WP. He's not got a counter-response. He's been taking heavy losses, and it's just getting worse and worse as his army size gets smaller and smaller. They're about even at the moment, but a lot of that supply is in those medevacs, which is really not helping him that much at the moment as they are out of energy. A lot of SCVs forced down, and Jim looks to win this game. Some more reinforcement Stalkers pulling forward. And with that, we are going to expect the GG, and there it is, WP finally calling it. Very nice push there from Jim. Alright guys, pretty crazy game number 2 here between Jim and WP. We saw Jim open up with that proxy gateway, was able to do a bit of damage, then fended off a counterattack, immediately worked his way into some hefty upgrades, stuck pretty much gateway heavy, throwing in some Immortals, and with some beautiful force field placement and those hefty upgrades was able to get the GG from WP. Alright guys, this was a best of 3 series, and since game number 2 went to Jim, that is going to do it. Jim winning 2 games to 0 in this series between these two. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.